Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, which today you join me with another Porsche on the channel. This is Porsche's latest Macan generation and it is fully EV, no more internal combustion, which is sad for us petrol heads and me. I love the GTS and the turbo, the twin turbo V6. Oh, what a car that was. It was probably the perfect SUV you could get. But now Porsche have decided to go fully electric, and this particular Macan is the Macan 4. So this is kind of like the mid-range Macan. It comes, well, starts at £71,200 as of this video and my research last night. But with Porsche being Porsche, everything is an optional extra. So this particular model, this particular car, which I would say is a pretty safe spec, just being silver, is not £71,200. It's £8 grand's worth of extras just looking at it, and you'd kind of ask yourself why. So the Macan 4 is sort of the second Macan you can choose from, so it's not the bottom of the list, but being a Macan 4 means it's four-wheel drive. You get slightly more power, and being four-wheel drive, therefore the acceleration is going to be quicker. You do get launch control with these as well. So an EV launch control on Porsche, as we found out, is quite fun because they can just hammer it back to back and not ask any questions about it, to the point where you have to stop because you start to feel sick. So the Macan 4 has got about 408 PS, so about 400 horsepower, which is plenty enough on the UK roads. And like I said, 0 to 60 time on a four-wheel drive Porsche Macan is 5.25 seconds. So again, plenty of oomph to get you going. Now on Porsche's website, they state that you can get up to 380 miles out of a full charge combined driving. Now I'm assuming that is lab conditions, no wind resistance, no road resistance, stuff like that, kind of cheating the system a little bit, because from my experience on a full charge EV, even petrol internal combustion engines, whatever they state you'd get out of a full tank or a full charge, I would normally take 50 miles off of that straight away, and then you're kind of more closer to the realistic figure. I did have this on 100% charge when I got the car this morning and unplugged it from the wall, and you'll see, I'll jump back at this when we get out driving and you'll see the figures that I'm talking about. Right, now I'm going to do some jumping around. I'm going to try and quickly reel off some of the spec, and you'll kind of see where I'm coming at when you say it's a bit of a safe spec, but you're paying £8 grand for not a lot. To have the exterior wing mirrors painted the same colour as the car, so like this bit and this bit, £380. The colour of the car itself, silver, is either ice grey or dolomite grey. There's no spec sheet or anything, so I'm trying to narrow it down. But either way, whatever colour that is, that's £740 as well. 21-inch Macan design wheels, £1,629. Privacy glass, £366. Matrix LED headlights, £852. Yes, we like them. Now, my biggest bugbear with the design of this car is the back end. The front end I actually really like, no problems with it at all. This is the spoiler, so Sports Plus mode, or manually overriding it, that's where your spoiler pops out, which takes away some of your vision out the rear view. Not too bad, but 8 out of 10 for that. But yeah, the overall design on the back end, not a fan of it, and I'll tell you why. It kind of reminds me of the new Ford Capri, which is, yeah. And ever since I've got that image in my head, I can't really shift it. Yeah, so not loving that at the minute. This petrol cap, otherwise known as the EV socket cover, if you want it electric, £444 just to have that electric. Around the back, you've got your electronically assisted tailgate with an okay sized boot. Considering the coupe design of the car, you're not going to get the most amount of space in there. Not really any storage under there. That is, you might be able to fit one of your charge cables down the side, but that is your Bose speaker base and your electronics in under that. So not much going on in there, unfortunately. Now, the front of the car, if we do that automatically, it can catch you off guard and give you a bit of a whack around the face. It's not too bad, really. Yeah, a bit more storage in the front, probably enough for a backpack. EV cable in there, but other than that, that is about it. This is not electronically assisted though, that's just on the old gas struts. Nope. Something I did find a little bit bizarre is that unlock the car, go to get in it. It's on. It just turns itself on. Clearly it's a normal thing, but it just feels bizarre. There's no sort of intro noise, or you've got the on-off button, but you don't turn it on, it turns itself on. You turn it off when you get out, but yeah, just very bizarre to get in a car and yeah, not hear anything and just go. Now, always a favourite of mine, £1,283, but worth every penny. Pano roof, £635 for the chrono clock. 14-way memory seats, £899. Right, so I'm currently sitting on the driveway. I've just unplugged the car from the wall charger. I've got 329 miles of range on a full battery, and it's done 5,724 miles as of now. So we'll skip through it, and at the end of the video, I'll try and see how much range we've done versus how much range we've lost on the battery with all my mixed driving. One thing I need to remember to mention, and I forgot to read up on it last night, so let's just leave a bit of slack. This is clearly a safety thing. Bit of slack in the seatbelt. Let's go drive, and then let's go. And then once you get going, it will do like an auto tension. There you go, it's pulling. Ugh. And that feels quite strange. It feels like someone's coming around behind you and going to yeah, so might be something you want to warn your passengers about, because everyone's going to get a bit of a shock. But yeah, like obviously once you're driving, it then releases again. It's clearly just to get the right tension on you for safety. But I don't know if that's something you can turn off or not. I'm not going to have the car long enough, or had it long enough to look into it. But just something to be mindful. Oh, let's get into it by doing a lovely launch control. We all love launch controls. EVs are fun. Literally all we do. Drive, Sports Plus, hard on the brake, ready, hold, foot down, ready, boom. Like I said, Porsche, very good with their EVs and launch controls, back to back, not an issue. Oh. They just get on with it. And I do love them for that reason. Let's do it again. Back to my main camera. Ready, hold, foot down. That is fun. That's 400 horsepower or 408 PS, so I'd like to see what the turbo could do. I mean, I was in a Taycan before, Taycan turbo, and that was back to back. I think they quote 3 or 3.2 seconds, and it definitely done it quicker than that. I feel like to look at this car without looking at the dimensions on paper and comparing them to the previous Macan generation, I feel like to look at the car from the outside, it looks slightly smaller, probably because it's more of a coupe shape than the previous Macan. But to be in it and drive, yes, I have the seat position quite high up anyway, because I like to see a bit of the bonnet and like to see down. But I feel like the bonnet's quite a chunky thing to get your head around when you first get in it and start driving. You think, oh, this feels like a big car when you're turning through a car park. But again, it's one of the things you quickly get used to once you've spent 10 minutes in it driving. I don't know if you can hear that chime, but that is the speed limit warning to tell me that I'm speeding in an area that it thinks is slower than what it actually is. And this is where one of the big problems with EU regulations is all cars as of 2024, I think, or just the newest generations of cars that they're now releasing, have to have speed limit warnings and things like that. Yes, you can turn it off, but it's something you have to do every time you get in the car. Not a big issue, but it's just one of them annoying little things Every time you drive along, it starts binging at you, and you go, oh, turn that off. Because it doesn't work. It's all these little things are good on as an idea on pen and paper, but in reality they just don't work. Because if you go from a 40 to a 60, which in my area I do a lot, it doesn't always pick up the national speed limit signs, so it thinks it's in a 40 when I'm actually doing 60, and vice versa. And it'll pick up, like they can pick up roadwork signs at the sides of the roads on, like, say, a road that's running parallel to a main road. So yesterday I was coming up the dual carriageway, which is a 70, when we picked this up, and it picked up a 30-mile-an-hour sign at the side of the road, or the side of the A road that I was on a parallel running road. And suddenly it starts binging at me to do 30 miles an hour. I'm not going to slam on the brakes and go at 30 miles an hour in a 70. So I can see, you know, Jimmy with a laptop that comes around and does a bit of coding on your car. I can see them people making a lot of money coding stuff like that out if they can. So we've got 4 drivers modes: off-road, normal, sport and sport plus. And one thing I noticed when I got in the car yesterday was the sensitivity on the accelerator pedal, and that was in normal, and I played around with it in sport and sport plus as well to see if that would sharpen that response up, and I thought even for normal this throttle response is very, very quick, very sharp. Normally, like if you have it in normal or an eco mode or something like that, they can be a bit, not like a bit slow to kind of decide how much throttle you want and what, like, when to go and stuff. But in this, it seems very sharp, almost like the accelerator's in Sport Plus no matter what mode you're in. And I'll see if I can do some tests for you, but on the inside of the car, switching between the modes, the volume of the UFO noises and acceleration noises changes. So normal, it's quite quiet, so if I just road noise, I don't think, maybe it cuts out above like 20 miles an hour, something like that. But if we slow down again, go into Sports Plus, see some lights change around me, and go again. It's there all the way. So yeah, I think maybe in normal it just turns off. The actual interior of the car is not as nice place to be, just because Porsche does the Macan really well. It's a great all-round car, and it has been through every generation, I think. It's a nice place to be. It's fairly spacious. I don't know, I'd say there's not going to be much in it comfort and space wise between this and the previous models. There's a bit more storage going on in the centre console, I guess, because there's just maybe less electronics for gearbox selecting and all that needs to go on. So in here there's actually quite a big deep pocket, although the USB-C port to charge is tucked right at the back, so maybe that can be a bit fiddly if you're trying to stick something on charge while driving along. Yeah, other than like the interior wise, other than that, obviously we've got the updated head units like on Porsches now, like the 992, 911 stuff. Yeah, it's a Macan, it's nice, it's a nice place to be, it's quiet, it's comfortable, folding way adjustable seats, nice and comfy as well as always. With EVs, they've obviously got their place in the world, and they can be fun with the amount of power that they have, torque and acceleration. But it's just there's no soul or character to it. Yes, they put these little chimey noises in it that sort of accelerate with the speed, like we see in BMWs and like the Taycan and the Macan, like these little like UFO noises they put in. But again, if I put my foot down now, you can't tell what I'm doing. You might see the trees go past a bit faster, but 9 times out of 10 the mic won't pick up these little noises that I can hear in the cabin. And I can have 30 seconds of fun accelerating, but want a bit of engine noise and stuff. So I'm always, yes, some people prefer EVs over petrol, because they're not a petrol head like I am, but yeah, just doesn't quite tickle me pickle. Just for example, out of a 30 onto the nice country roads, whew, 30 to 60 in the blink of an eye, but you're probably getting no enjoyment out of this at all. I don't think you can watch videos of EVs and enjoy it and get that sense of enjoyment that the driver's getting. You're only going to get that if you go out and test drive one for yourself. Like I said, it's a Macan, so Porsche do Macans very well. It's comfortable, it's quiet, it handles the road pretty well. I don't think this has got the active air suspension or the PASM suspension setup or anything like that. Nothing fancy on this one. It's just stock. So apart from the flex in the sidewalls, which give you quite a bit of roll, but the steering seems to counteract that nicely. If I do that, I like this little wobble test, and you can sort of feel the flex in the sidewalls. There's a bit there, but once you get past that flex, then it really starts to bite in and go the way you want it to go. Bit of roll, again, standard suspension setup, so you're going to expect that. But if we chuck it through the lanes a little bit, bit bumpy. It's nice. You can still have a bit of fun with it. I mean, it's like base spec Macan, isn't it? Obviously, you got a bit more weight there than normal because it's an EV, so you got the battery pack and everything. But it's still comfortable, and it's a Porsche. Still a Porsche, a Capri Porsche. So there's something I want to try, because apparently with EVs and automatics and all that, you don't have like the tab for an electric handbrake. You've just got a park button. And apparently that park button is also like your emergency handbrake in case of emergency. So if I go down there and drive and press the park button, it should lock up. So I just want to try that just to see what it does. So I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so there's literally no one around, so this is fine. And like I said, I've only got this car for like 2 hours, so I just want to try and rush through a couple of things. Oh, there's the tensioner. If I press the park button, oh no, oh, so we'll do it. It's emergency braking, so maybe if I press and hold. Oh yeah, and that seatbelt really pulls you in like that. Again, the tensioner. Woo, I mean, that's quite fun. It's almost as good as the launch control, but that works, so that's good. That's handy. Let's just chuck it round here a little bit. Oh, we're in normal. Let's kick it up to Sport Plus. Even in Sports Plus, the steering wheel's still really light. Like, again, normally most cars, as you change through the modes, the steering will lighten up or tighten up, get stiffer, heavier. But it's still really light, which I suppose could be a little bit off-putting. Again, it's the feedback's not real. It's not realistic. Let's try the brakes. Not too bad, like nice and sharp. Again, handling the weight of the car well. Little spoilers up at the back. I mean, once you get into it and you start to be one with the car, sounds a bit but you know what I mean, like once you're in the zone and you're going for it a little bit, it actually does start to feel better, which is quite surprising actually, because when I was driving out here I thought, oh, it's not going to be that great. But I'll tell you what, and this is the lower of the models as well, so, but again, it's not what we buy this car for. We buy it to be sensible, and we buy it for EV and economy and Be green. But no, petrol heads in me always says put your foot down, have some fun. So again, my mileage is going to drop quicker than most people, but still, we will see. I'll see if I can get it up a little bit now. I'm on my way back as well. I'll try and be good now. I'll switch it back to normal. There's probably more things to it. There's probably bits of technology in there that I haven't discovered, or that you know what it's like with any car that you own. Like, oh, after a month of driving, you go, oh, I didn't know I had that. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's clever. There's probably little things like that where I haven't gone through, and there might be other people that might comment down below saying, oh, you didn't even talk about this or that, and I'll be like, well, I've only had the car for literally 3 hours. So yeah, one of them things you'll pick up in time. But as a general consensus, it's a Porsche Macan. Porsche do Macan well, handles well, drives well, it's comfy. It's just literally swapping out the engine for a couple of electric motors. But I do want to talk about, I said this a couple of years ago, I think it's 2020, I had a Vauxhall Corsa E for the day, and I said in that video that at the time the UK government will massively shoot themselves in the foot and do a U-turn on their congestion charge, ULEZ charges, road tax for EVs and all this, because of either, I can't quite remember that, either EVs were free or they were £30 a year, and that was just for like a road tax. And I said, with their agenda of pushing EVs so much, they will shoot themselves in the foot, because they will lose billions in revenue from losing all that money on combustion car tax. And lo and behold, here we are. Now, they've put a luxury vehicle tax on a car over the price of 40 grand, which is pretty much any EV you're going to buy, bar the odd low budget one, which no one really wants. So this, being a Porsche, automatically in that bracket over the £40,000 mark, which means for the first 5 years of registration, it's a bit weird the way they word it on their website, but I think you pay £410 or £425 a year for the privilege of having a luxurious car, and that is not offsetting your carbon footprint. Well, like, it's just like that rich person mentality or influencer mentality saying be green for the planet, but then Brian flying around the world on a private jet. It's the same thing. Like, so it's just a con. It's just a government conning you for more money. And then I reckon long term, if they want to phase out combustion engines, so currently petrol is £1.35 a litre, and it's cheaper to charge an EV on like EV tariffs, overnight charging at home and stuff like that. And it works out like what, 7p a kilowatt, or however it works out, 50p or £2 to charge your car overnight kind of thing. I reckon long term, if they phase out petrol completely, they will work out a way to say, right, a normal combustion engine is £60, £70 to fill up a tank of fuel, and that will give you 350 miles, 400 miles of range. I reckon they will find a way to calculate that for EVs. So they will say, well, a full charge on EVs will be 350, 400 miles to a full charge. So therefore, we're going to charge you £50 to charge your car. They will work out a way to charge you per mile. I reckon that's the long term. And that's how they'll get you. And that's typical British government. Years ago it was buy diesel, they're the best thing. They're the best thing for the roads, and now they heavily penalise you for it. And it will be the same with these, and they're already going that way. So for that reason, I will stick with combustion. And on that note, I will see you on the next video somewhat soon. It should be on my 3 Series Touring that I recently picked up. Yeah, I'm not going to go too heavy on this because batteries are dying. I'm very limited on time because I've got to get it back by 12, and it's currently 11:17. Oh, before I forget, so it's currently saying I've 284 miles of range, and I've done, I need to find a trip computer, but I'll put it down here with how much I've lost versus how much I've used. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, give me a hand, like and all that good stuff down below, what you think on the Macan EV, and I will see you hopefully very soon. Thanks for watching.